but also don't forget sort of who you are and where you come from. Hi, I'm Kane Needham. I'm a research scientist. I work at the University of Hull. Project I'm currently working on is called Diversity to Decarbonise, promoting equity, diversity and inclusion, or EDI, solutions for employers to make their workplaces more inclusive, a bit more friendly to people that are underrepresented in the energy industry. So my career journey absolutely hasn't been straightforward, and I never had the intention to end up where I am now. When I was at school, I was always quite good academically. In secondary school though, at some point I sort of lost focus. It was quite a rough school, and kind of to be cool, to be accepted, you kind of had to rebel a bit. So I kind of lost my way with schoolwork for a while, and then I took sociology at GCSE level. Had a really excellent teacher, really creative, really cared about finding methods of teaching that really help kids engage with rather than, say, sticking to a textbook. And yeah, I got really into sociology, and I loved how it helped explain some of the problems I saw in the world around us, and did a degree, and then did a master's degree on top of that. And then an opportunity to do a PhD in Scotland came up. And I took it, and I don't regret the decision. It was really good. I come from a working class background. I'm pretty much the first in the family to go to university. And I found quite quickly that a lot of the students didn't talk like me, acted a little bit differently. They were generally from more kind of privileged backgrounds. And from the early stage, at times I didn't feel like I fitted in, and that continued, as I sort of went up through the levels of study. But in terms of advice, if, you feel like you don't fit in, if you're ever in a situation like that, obviously learn what you can to fit in a bit better, but also don't forget sort of who you are and where you come from. Try to use that as an advantage, a bit of uniqueness about you is never a bad thing. So I have a question from a student. Thank you for sending that question in. And that question is, how diverse is the decarbonisation industry? So in terms of answering that, I'd like to talk more about the energy sector, which is what my project is focused on. So there's an underrepresentation of women, people with disabilities, ethnicity, neurodiversity. There's even an underrepresentation of younger people in the energy industry. There are lots of reasons why, and these can start quite early on in life. So for example, at university, engineering courses are mostly male. And that's why we aren't just looking at helping companies sort of make themselves and make the work that engineers within the energy industry do more inclusive. We're also thinking about education. It's not just looking at the workforce where they are, it's looking at how they get to the workforce, the journey there. We're first finding out what employers are currently doing and the challenges that they are experiencing in making their workforces more diverse. What we then will use that data for is to inform the content of a web hub, indicating how well grounded in scientific evidence EDI initiatives are. And we also want to produce a kind of toolkit to help employers evaluate things they do to help increase diversity in their workforce. It's important that we evaluate them to check that it's working and we're not wasting time and money. We need to be quick about expanding the workforce in the energy sector. So being able to rely on knowing that something is well grounded in science is very important.